I call this meeting of the Rotary Club of Oakland to order. I'm Dudley Thompson, and I have the honor to serve as president of the Rotary Club of Oakland. Founded in 1908, we are the third established club of some 36,000 Rotary clubs in over 200 countries around the world. We are a diverse community of some 300 local business, professional, and community leaders who unite to improve local and international communities. We do this through a common commitment to service above self. For over 113 years, we have welcomed Rotarians and guests to our club meetings, and I welcome you to this 5,352nd meeting. For those of you who are online, or if you're a visiting Rotarian or a guest of a Rotarian, please enter your name in the chat box. It's located at the center of the bottom of your screen so that we can recognize you in a few minutes. We also recommend that you view today's meeting using Speaker View, which is located in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. If you have comments or want to ask a question of the speaker, please use the chat box. For those of you here in the California Ballroom, I will ask that you not use your electronic device to watch the meeting on Zoom or connect to our California Ballroom Wi-Fi. Folks, we're still living in very uncertain times of a pandemic. Under current Alameda guidelines and our club protocols, it is required, I say required, that you wear a mask inside if you are not eating or drinking. I realize it's awkward and annoying, but please pull your mask up. We are trying to make this space safe as possible for our members and our guests, and we can still have a great meeting. I also ask that you refrain from talking during the meeting as the sound becomes background noise on our online broadcasts. Today is a little different. We're going to have our speaker first, which will be the same next week as well. We will have the thought for the day. Jennie, you want to start coming up here? Jennie Hunsburger will give us a thought for the day, and then we will say our Rotary vision statement, and then we will welcome our guest speaker for the day. Jennie?
Thanks so much. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. If I'm going to be honest, I actually really struggled with this, which is a seemingly simple task to come up with the thought of the day. But I think my struggle was just reflecting on thoughts of the day in the past and some of the insights that my contemporaries had, really meaningful, deep, impactful insights, and I just didn't want to let anybody down. But I just kept getting drawn back to this idea of gratitude. Pretty simple. I've been reflecting on gratitude a lot ever since the lockdown in 2020. When all of life's distractions got taken away from me. And I tend to be an overly scheduled person, that's by design. You know, I was kind of left with just the reality of my life, and I was really grateful for it. I was really grateful for the people who took care of me during that time. I was grateful for the people that allowed me to take care of them. My home, my business, you know, all these things that I know that I gave really true appreciation to because I just kept moving. So it's really beautiful how life unfolded in this place of gratefulness. You know, moreover, I think gratefulness can be a cornerstone to abundance. Now, even before I started reflecting on gratefulness, I kind of always ask myself, you know, if I'm not thankful for what I have, then why do I deserve more? And this gratefulness can be really a lovely platform for action, which I actually thought would really resonate with a lot of the people in this room and, you know, online, because I think so many of us are here through gratefulness. And President Dudley, when you asked the leaders in this organization, heads of committees, why are you a member of Oakland Rotary, and are you still here for the same reason? I think a common thread really was through gratefulness, that desire to give back to our community, desire to be part of a civic organization with such strong foundation and an opportunity to grow through gratefulness. And it's not the only ingredient in that cake, but I thought it was a pretty common thread. So my thought of the day is that to appreciate the people, the places, and the things in your life now, because they'll change. That's a constant. They won't be there in the capacity that they are now, or they might not be there at all. So thank you. That is my thought of the day.
Thank you, Jenny. That's a good theme we have going. Gratitude this week and kindness last week. We can build on that. Would you please join me in the Rotary sharing the Rotary vision statement? Jack, can you put that up there for us? Thank you. Together, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. Robert Kidd, would you please come up here and introduce our speaker for the day?
Thank you, President Dudley. First, my thanks to Pat Williams and Sarah Chavez-Yoel for having set up our speaker today. Just as Pacific Gas and Electric moves from San Francisco to Oakland, today we welcome here at Rotary, number 3, Robert S. Kenney. Robert S. Kenney is the Vice President of PG&E Corporate, responsible for regulatory and external affairs. He's had a distinguished career in public utility regulation at PG&E since 2015, and before that in the state of Missouri. So to address your questions about PG&E's challenges and opportunities, please welcome Robert S. Kenney.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for that introduction. And thank you very much for the introduction and the invitation to be here with you. Thank you, President Dudley. Thank you, Rotarians. And thank you to Sarah Yoel, my colleague, for arranging for me to be here. I was very struck by the history of the organization being the 3rd oldest chapter, and I'm very privileged to be here on Civic Thursday. And I will also echo appreciation for the thoughts of the day with respect to kindness last week and gratitude this week. I have reflected significantly over the last year, working from home, all of the things for which I am grateful. And so I think it's an excellent reminder to us all to count the things for which we are grateful each day. I'll just briefly share a bit about myself just to kind of set the stage for what I'm going to talk about. I have had the privilege of working for PG&E since 2015, and I joined PG&E from the state of Missouri, where I served on our State Public Utilities Commission. I've had the privilege in my career of working in both the public and the private sectors, and I feel very fortunate now at PG&E that I get to blend my desire to serve the public with my entrepreneurial and private sector a spirit. And that's one of the things I enjoy about working at PG&E, is that it is an extension of public service by virtue of the fact that we provide such a critically important service and commodity to our customers and our communities. I'm only going to talk for a few minutes because I do want to leave ample time for questions, and I look forward to engaging in dialogue with all of you. So PG&E's responsibility as an energy provider, our responsibilities go far beyond our core mission of providing safe, reliable, and affordable clean energy to our 16 million customers. We take very seriously the responsibility to be a part of building a better future for everyone whose lives we touch. And this means delivering for our hometowns, serving our planet, and as our new CEO likes to say, and as I embrace, leading with love. Since emerging from bankruptcy, we are working to make things right and to make things safe. Our responsibility also means helping to drive clean energy technologies while also ensuring that the benefits of those clean energy technologies are accessible to all. And it means helping our communities build resilience against climate change, as well as thwarting climate change in a way that leaves no one behind. One of the things that I've been struck by is our new CEO's alignment and her thought process on corporate social responsibility. Our vision is that we are here to do more than simply serve our corporate bottom line. Our vision of corporate sustainability is captured in our triple bottom line approach to doing business, serving people, the planet, and California's prosperity, underpinned by strong operational performance. And to get there, we need to rebuild trust in our communities. So I think, as you know, we are going to be relocating our headquarters from San Francisco to Oakland. And I will say, just as an Oakland resident myself, I'm very excited about the opportunity to further embed my company's presence in our new headquarters city. We are on track for a phased move into our new headquarters at 300 Lakeside Drive, beginning in the first half of 2022. We have sold the building in San Francisco, and we are in the process of moving all of our belongings out of the building, turning that building over to the new owners, and implementing our move to Oakland. And this move was a significant part of our broader commitment to implement changes for the long-term benefit of our customers and our communities. And I will say on behalf of the company, we are very, very excited to deepen our ties to the Oakland community. And when I say deepen those ties, I should say to further deepen those ties, because we already have very strong roots in Oakland. Our new Oakland headquarters will use space more efficiently for our workforce and will provide greater flexibility in our layout and density. Our design will promote workplace health and safety, and it will accommodate potential new working arrangements in a post-COVID-19 environment. When we first decided to sell the headquarters in San Francisco and move to Oakland, it was pre-pandemic, and we've significantly flexed our plans to accommodate what we think the new work rules and what the new working arrangements will be in a post-COVID environment. We've learned a lot over this last 18 months about our resiliency, about our flexibility, and about our ability to do our work remotely. And so we're changing what that footprint will look like in the new headquarters. In addition, commutes for most of our San Francisco-based coworkers should be shorter and less impactful. A majority of our folks live in the East Bay and will be able to take advantage of multiple transportation options serving the Lakeside Drive location. So Oakland is our new headquarters city, and we will be a good neighbor, and we will be an active community partner delivering for our new hometown. And we've stated very clearly that our goal as we transition our headquarters to Oakland will be to build upon our longstanding tradition of meaningful engagement on the issues and priorities of our community. Folks may already know that we engage locally on initiatives of importance to Oakland, including an emphasis with our charitable giving from PG&E and our foundation on opportunities and access to education for Oakland youth. And some of the things that I'm very proud of are significant years-long commitment to Oakland Public Education Fund and the Oakland Promise, our recent announcement of $500,000 to support bridging the digital divide, supporting Oakland Undivided, our support for after-school and summer enrichment programs that give kids a safe and healthy place to achieve their aspirations, including our longstanding support for the East Oakland Youth Development Center, the Crucible, Girls Incorporated, Boys and Girls Clubs, and many others. Our volunteers have recently participated in a wonderful event with Linda Hand Foundation and the Oakland Unified School District, packing and distributing backpacks full of school supplies for kids. One less thing for struggling and working parents to have to worry about during these tough times. Whether it's education and workforce development, social or environmental justice, economic opportunity, or other important and significant issues, we will continue our historically strong and productive working relationships in Oakland by affirming and enhancing our engagement. We're going to demonstrate that we are a company of people with humility and caring, and our efforts will actively convey our dedication to partnerships where we all rise together, focused on the critical services we provide and the important role and the responsibility that we have in supporting the prosperity and safety of the diverse communities in Oakland and the East Bay more broadly. We will show up for our communities in environmental, social, and corporate responsibility in our decision-making. We will listen, learn, and demonstrate through our actions that we're committed to the safety and prosperity of all Oakland citizens now and for the future. And when I say that we will listen and learn, a significant component of what we're doing in anticipation of our move is interacting proactively with many of our stakeholders to discern how they would like to see us show up. So rather than saying, here's how we will show up, we want to hear from our critical stakeholders how they would like to see us show up. And so Sarah and many others on our teams have been interviewing and listening to many of our stakeholders to seek that feedback on how we can best support Oakland as we transition our headquarters. So I'd like to shift the focus a little bit and talk about one of the critical issues of our time, and that is how we are working to make our system safe and resilient against wildfire risk. We are moving to a regional model as a part of our commitment to deliver better operational outcomes. And in so doing, we're working to understand and address the risks of our infrastructure, including wildfire risk, safeguarding the public and consistently delivering excellent customer service. Over the last 12 to 18 months, we have continued to enhance our wildfire safety education and awareness efforts to help our customers improve their own preparedness and safety. We've been working to enhance and strengthen our physical infrastructure, including the substantial investments that we're making to upgrade the electric grid and our operations. We're continuing to make progress, but we have significantly more work to do in this area. And that's why we are taking decisive action to repair or replace aging electric assets, implementing enhanced and additional safety precautions, and integrating new technologies to further reduce wildfire risk and mitigate wildfire risk to help keep our customers and communities safe. As we're working to build a smarter grid designed to incorporate new technologies and to give our customers increased flexibility, choice, and value, we're also gaining greater visibility to improve our operational performance and more effectively integrate renewable energy with conventional sources. And one of the things that we keep emphasizing is that this is not solely a PG&E effort. We all need to work together. PG&E, our regulators, governmental bodies, all Californians, to help adapt our electric system to the growing threat of wildfire, while also helping our customers prepare for and mitigate service interruptions under our public safety power shutoff program. We all rely on electricity every day, and we will continue working with our customers on solutions that will minimize the risks to our infrastructure during times of high fire threat. So a related issue, a lot of the issues relative to wildfire risk are driven by climate change. And I think we're seeing this play out in real time, both here in California. I just returned from a trip to the East Coast where the temperatures on the East Coast were reaching record highs, dangerous record highs. And we're seeing the impacts of climate change play out right before our eyes. And at PG&E, we're doing our part to help transition California to a decarbonized and climate resilient economy. And this commitment includes aligning our resources and our business strategy with the state's clean energy vision. We have long advocated for policies and programs that create a resilient system, and we are also working to reduce the ever-growing risks posed by extreme weather and wildfires by incorporating forward-looking climate data into our asset management, our risk assessment, and our decision-making processes. We've been on record as being committed to California's vision of a sustainable energy future, which includes our support for California's climate goals, including our goal to be carbon neutral by 2045 in a cost-effective and reliable manner. We've also committed and support the increased renewable portfolio standards and objectives that are being implemented by our policymakers. And we are going to be working actively as a participant in the efforts in the legislature to codify the carbon neutrality goal that was implemented by executive order. Meeting the challenge of climate change, mitigating wildfire risk, these are central to our ability to deliver on our triple bottom line approach of making sure that we're serving both all the people, the planet, and California's prosperity. I'll tell you a little bit more about some of the policies that we're specifically working to advocate. The economy-wide achievement of carbon neutrality by 2045, and we're supporting nationwide decarbonization efforts consistent with science-based emissions reductions targets to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050 or sooner. We're supporting cost-effective achievement of GHG emission reduction goals by deploying clean energy and technology neutral and flexible strategies that will help to foster innovation and technology. We have been supportive of well-designed carbon pricing mechanisms, including California's historic cap and trade program, doing this with environmental integrity, cost containment, and recognition of early action. And then if it's not affordable and if it's not being realized by all, then we don't believe that it's sustainable. And so we have supported disadvantaged and vulnerable communities and the workforce in ensuring that there's an equitable and just transition to a carbon neutral future. We've also worked to promote research and development of climate solutions and the deployment of new technologies through pilot programs. And then we're supporting market reforms and changes to the regulatory structure that will enable decarbonization, including building codes and appliance standards, as well as policies to address gas and electric system affordability. And we're working on enhanced integration of a Western-wide grid to accommodate demand and supply side shifts so that we can mitigate the types of rolling brownouts that we saw last summer. And then finally, we're working to promote and support customer incentives that don't unfairly shift costs to other customers, including energy efficiency, building electrification, zero emission vehicle adoption, and fueling infrastructure installation. With that, I would like to conclude my prepared remarks and engage in a dialogue with you and take your questions, please.
I'm sure we have questions. So Jack, is Sandeepa handling the online questions? What I thought we'd do is take one online and then go to the room and go back and forth here if we could. So Sandeepa, is there a question in the chat?
Yes. Stephanie asks, when will Oakland neighborhoods see their overhead wires placed underground?
Yeah, it's a great question. So many people have, well, there are several programs that already exist at the CPUC that help communities that want to underground for aesthetic purposes, that provide pots of money for that. And that's for purely aesthetic purposes. You will have heard very recently, our CEO announced a plan to underground 10,000 miles of our overhead lines in high fire threat districts. Are you able to hear me okay?
Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm trying to find a question. Go ahead, please.
Sorry. So we have announced that we intend to underground 10,000 miles of our overhead lines, and we're doing this for resiliency and safety purposes. That process is really just underway, and it's very much at its beginning and planning stages. We do intend to engage with our customers and our communities. We're in the process of putting together a very robust stakeholder engagement, outreach, and feedback plan so that we can learn from our customers where we should begin undergrounding. But I will tell you that it's going to be primarily driven by risk assessment. We have a risk assessment process by which we are able to risk rank certain of our electric circuits to determine where the greatest wildfire risk is. And we want to make sure that we're prioritizing those that are at the highest risk first. So the short answer to the question is I don't specifically know when Oakland will have its overhead lines undergrounded, but we are on a journey to underground 10,000 miles in our high fire threat districts.
Thank you. Anna Marie Jones, do you have a question?
I do. Thank you very much for your presentation. Earlier this year, we lost longtime PG&E Tom Garino, who was also a longtime Rotarian. And I had the great pleasure of working with him on many preparedness activities across Oakland and the East Bay. I'm wondering if you've had any new innovations around preparedness and whether you'd like to share anything about what you've done preparedness-wise related to COVID.
Thank you for the question. I will also acknowledge the sadness that I personally felt and that the company felt by the loss of our friend Tom Garino. When I personally joined the company, Tom was kind, gracious, thoughtful, and very instrumental in helping me to integrate into the PG&E family, but also specifically into the East Bay community. And he is tremendously missed by all and by me personally. With respect to COVID preparedness and just preparedness more generally, we have conducted multiple open houses and will continue to do those with respect to wildfire preparedness and emergency and safety preparedness generally. We have also, as you may know, specifically related to COVID preparedness, and this is the moratorium on disconnections that we instituted as a way to help ameliorate and lessen the burden that our customers and communities may have been feeling as a result of COVID. And we've also gone to a regional model, and we have 5 regions with a regional vice president with a goal of bringing ourselves closer to our specific communities, and so that we have a rapid way of identifying issues, bringing those issues to the attention of the company, and quickly resolving those issues. So those are a few ways in which we are deploying new efforts and new initiatives to help our customers and our communities more specifically. But I will also direct you to our Safety Action Center that's on our website that gets into specifically how you can, and steps that we are offering, or steps that you can take to prepare yourselves and your homes and your families for emergency responses.
Deepa, do you have another question there?
Yes. Lorna Padilla asks a question similar to the questions asked before. So let me read out her question. First of all, glad to have PG&E in Oakland. My question is, it seems that the technology of delivering electricity has not changed much over the years via overhead or underground wires, especially in the light of California wildfires. Do you foresee any new technology development to change the way electricity is delivered, especially in the light of wildfires?
Yes, thank you for the question. I will say that California and PG&E service territory in particular, we have probably the greatest penetration of solar rooftop installations. And that's not necessarily a new technology, but it is a maturing technology. And what is new and what we are seeing is the pairing of solar with storage. And we actually have a proceeding going on at the commission right now relative to net energy metering, where we are advocating for a change in regulatory policy that would help incentivize solar installations paired with storage rather than just solar rooftop installations standing alone. So that's one regulatory policy that we're advocating for that will incent the deployment of solar paired with storage. The other new technology, or the other technology that we're being very supportive of, are renewable microgrids. And we just recently deployed one in Briceburg. And these microgrids allow communities, smaller communities, to be able to island themselves and continue to run apart from the larger electric grid. And so we're deploying microgrids throughout the service territory, but the one that we recently deployed in Briceburg is the most recent example of that. I'll also add that some of the other new technologies that we're deploying on the existing system are devices that allow us to sectionalize the system so that when we do have to execute a public safety power shutoff, we can execute that with a more narrow focus. So rather than de-energizing a large swath of customers, by deploying these sectionalizing devices on our system, we're able to be more precise and more narrow in the scope of our de-energization efforts. We're also deploying devices on our existing wires that will allow us to detect faults more quickly so that we can respond more quickly and isolate those faults so that it doesn't expand to the broader system. And then we're also deploying new technologies that allow us to identify where allow us to be more, to see more broadly our system and to know where we will need to enhance our vegetation management processes as well. So there's a few examples of the new technologies that we're deploying to help make the system more safe, more reliable. And to
Robert,
make
we
CSPS even
need to
smaller.
respect your time, and I know you have to run off to an executive team meeting. I do want to thank you very much for being with us today. We look forward to PG&E being part of our community and increasing the economy of Oakland. You'll be a great neighbor. This year, we are highlighting the new Rotary area of focus, the environment. In your honor, we are making a donation to the Environmental Sustainability Rotary Action Group, SRAG. It's towards their focus on biodiversity, sustainable living, pollution, the climate, food systems, and a circular economy. We also will be sending you a copy of our centennial book highlighting the first 100 years of Rotary in Oakland. It was written by our own Linda Hamilton, and not only does it show Rotary in Oakland, but it's a good page by page over the last 100 years of the development of Oakland. So Robert, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you very much for your kindness and your generosity. I appreciate it very much. And I look forward to interacting with you in the future again.
Thank you. Come to our meetings sometime. You can join Rotary. We have a place for you here.
I may take you up on that. Thank you very much.
We have the people here in the room. We'll probably be at your office this afternoon with an application. Thank you, Robert. We're going to go back to our regular meeting now and introducing guests. And I'll start off with Ed, past president and past district governor, Ed Jelen. Are you out there, Ed? Do we have any missing Rotarians online?
He's online.
Yep.
I certainly am out here, President Dudley, and enjoy looking out at all my good Rotary friends out there. I have to tell you, nobody checked in the chat as a visiting Rotarian or guest, but I combed the list and I see that past President Iris Brody Lopez is with us today. And so I want to use this opportunity to say hi to Iris and express my appreciation for her joining us here today.
Thank you, Ed. Yeah, and Iris, it's a little cooler here than where you're at in Phoenix today, I think. So in the room, do we have any guests or visiting Rotarians? Get a mic to Wendy, please.
Friends, it's a pleasure to introduce Kevin Hunter, Vice President of Johnstone Supply in Oakland, managing 5 branches specializing in HVAC.
And I might add, Kevin is a customer of mine, so I have to keep him happy. So, Jack?
President Dudley, fellow Rotarians, it's my honor today to introduce Phil Holt, who's the principal in Sunbelt Business Brokers, who's already submitted his application along with his check.
Great.
Hi, Iris.
Thank you, and thank you for both visiting and submitting your application to join.
Got one more.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi, President Dudley.
Gary.
President Dudley, I have the honor of introducing my guest, Bob Muldoon. He's a environmental service engineer, and he's welcome. Glad to be here.
Thank you. Welcome, Bob. So everybody in the room, has everybody received a raffle ticket? Anybody who has not received a raffle ticket? Okay, get Jack about 10 more here. So whoever has, Pauline, do you still have some? We're not going to do this for a while, so you have a moment to hand them out. So Karen Friedman at the gala this year, we had a raffle. And the raffle was for several bottles, about 25 bottles of wine, each of them with a value of $50 or more. Karen won the raffle this year. Yay, Karen. I don't know, darn it, I didn't win. But Karen graciously said, that's a lot of wine. And I don't, you know, I really don't want to invite everybody over to my house this year. But anyway, so Karen gave us back 5 of the bottles. So we have 5 bottles here of wine, each of them with a value of over $50. And as an incentive to come to the room this year, we're going to raffle off one every week over the next 5 weeks that we're here in the ballroom. So everybody that's here today got a raffle ticket, and at the end of the meeting, we'll pull a rabbit out of the hat or something, and you can come up and get a nice bottle of wine. And the wine, by the way, was contributed. Each of the board of directors and the endowment trustees contributed a bottle to the raffle for the gala this year. Let's see. Bob Barth, are you online there?
I am.
Could you spotlight Bob for me? And Bob, you want to share with us, there's a serious disaster in Haiti this year. And would you care to talk about that for a moment?
Yes, I would, Dudley. Thank you so much. I know our hearts go out to the multiple crisis-affected people of Haiti. We were discussing, we had a World Community Service Committee meeting earlier this weekend. One of the things we were discussing was the fact that Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Over the past 11 years, it has been affected by 2 earthquakes, hurricanes, anything you can name. The most recent thing that we're all aware of is the devastation caused by the August 14th 7.2 earthquake. The UN estimates that over 2,000 people were killed, 8,000 injured, thousands of houses destroyed, 140 families affected, and these families represent 40% of all people living in the affected areas. And most of these families have been severely affected, meaning they have lost their house, they have lost their belongings, they have lost everything. The problems and addressing the problems caused by the earthquake are exacerbated, were and are exacerbated by Tropical Storm Grace, a mostly effective government, which is reeling from a recent presidential suicide, rampant gang violence, and of course, COVID. What can we do to help? When I was thinking about what I could do to help, I was thinking of how would I contribute? What would I do? And immediately popped in my head, Rotary. Rotary must be doing something about this. And they are, and we are. We all know that Rotarians are effective, connected, concerned, compassionate, and accountable. Any donation we make to assist the Haitian people through Rotary will go to its best, most needed areas. Have up on the screen here now is something you can Google. There is a disaster network of assistance, which is a Rotary action group. If you go to their website, you will see how they work, how they're connected with Haiti through more than 20 clubs, local clubs in Haiti. Very good connection, very good experience, very compassionate people. So I believe you should contribute to the assistance of people in Haiti, and if you do, please consider through our Rotary. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bob. So if you would care to make a personal contribution towards relief in Haiti through Rotary, probably the easiest way, we can send out the link to you, but if you just Google Rotary Disaster Action Group, and you'll find our, Rotary has many action groups. As I mentioned to our speaker, we have the Environmental Sustainability Action Group, but we have several action groups. One is to address disasters. So please look at that and give generously. David Douglas. Past President David Douglas. I have to get better at recognizing past President Jack McAvoy, past President, if you're at a district meeting, it's like you add about 5 more to it. But anyway, past President David Douglas, would you stand up, please? And David said he doesn't want to be recognized. I'm not going to ask him to give money. But what I want to do, I just want to thank David. David, if when we talk about where to meet in downtown Oakland, I'm going to say the biggest issue that comes up when we survey people is parking. And David, and I don't know how far it goes back to, your father and grandfather probably have made parking available to us, but David has a new parking garage. It's right behind our building. You can park there for $5 anytime you come to the meeting. So don't let parking be an issue not to come to a meeting. I just really want to thank David for what he's done over all the years and for making this available to us. Thank you, David.
I do want to just say that I got inspired by this raffle here. So why don't we add to that? For every winner, you get the bottle of wine and free parking for that day. Just don't drink the wine in the car when you're driving out. So why don't we do that? I'll tell the parking attendant to look for winners for a bottle of wine till we run out.
So everybody who has a bottle of wine in the back seat can show their wine.
That's exactly right.
Okay, thank you, David. I'm sorry, who? I'm not getting the name. Renia? Oh, Lorna Padilla Marcus. I'm sorry, Lorna Padilla Marcus rings the bell for David Douglas. Thank you. Linda Bosenecker.
Linda Chu.
Okay, Ken Richardson rings the bell.
Linda Chu rings the bell.
Just a moment. I have to do this slowly so that we catch it and record it. The bell seems to. So Linda Chu, thank you. Fred Morris. Thank you, Fred. Jack said he'd ring the bell twice. Jack McAvoy will ring the bell for David. Jack, you've got years of parking out by the airport for a discount, if I remember. Yeah.
Parking to my friend over the years.
Yeah, let me just, so that it gets recorded, is that Jack was saying that David has generously put an auction item up for many years of parking, and Jack's friend has bought it every year. So about $8,000 worth of parking that David's contributed to the club as well. Thank you, David. And I will say that for those that are new, ringing the bell is a generous $100 gift to the Oakland Rotary Endowment. Thank you. Mark Rosen, are you out there somewhere in the Ethernet?
I am here. But I have to apologize to David. I couldn't grab my mouse in time to say that I'd like to ring the bell for David as well.
Thank you, Mark. Mark rings the bell.
All righty, I'm here for High Adventure and to bring everyone up to date on what's happening, especially with the air quality, COVID concerns. This weekend's hike that was scheduled is going to be rescheduled till end of September. We do apologize for that. We've been holding off on announcing it only because of the air quality. I don't know what the air quality looks like in Concord today, in Oakland, but out here in Concord, it smells like a forest fire. That's all I've got to say. It's like it's out here. So we're going to hold off on the hiking. We've got cycling coming up on August 29th. An email will be going out about this ride. It will be led by Steve Blair and myself. And what we are going to do is we're going to do the two bridges. We're going to leave from Pleasant Hill and ride over into Crockett, go across to Carquinez, then go into Benicia, stop at a great bakery and have some food and get together and socialize. And then we're going to cross the Benicia Bridge and then come back. It's about a 27-mile ride. It is fairly easy. I wouldn't say that it's easy, but it's not an extreme ride. If you have any concerns, please reach out to myself or Steve Blair. Now, last, we have an A's game coming up. President Dudley, weren't you going to bring a guest, or did I miss the guest?
There's the guest.
All right. Well, we have a guest
today.
And we've got talked to Tom yesterday, and Tom tells me we've got about 10 tickets left. And we'd like to get rid of all these. So it's important that you can buy them online. You can reach out to Tom or myself. And we'd like to get that going. And that's August 27th. There is going to be a drone show that night. Should be really great. I showed a little video last announcement. So it should be a good time. Because of the COVID, we're not planning any tailgate. In fact, I think Tom mentioned to me that the A's are not encouraging any tailgating at the game. Dudley, do you want to add any thoughts?
No, I just, we say we have 10 tickets left. That's 10 out of 100 tickets we've sold. So 90 people will be going to the game. Now, it sounds like a lot, but this space that we have accommodates 250, and we have the whole space. So there's plenty of space to, separate or sit next to people if you like. It's a great space. It's right at the end, right before the foul pole in left field. So we may even get a few foul balls out there as well. Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome, Dudley.
So on a bit of a serious note, we passed around a card today for Greg Knight. Yesterday, we learned as a club on Monday that Greg has COVID and he is in the hospital. Now, this is breakthrough COVID. Greg is fully vaccinated. He's relatively young. He's healthy, and he's been very cautious. He has not been to one of our meetings here. This is not a warning that you were around, Greg. He's not been to one of our events. He is co-chair of our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. But one is we really encourage everybody to wear a mask when they're in the ballroom, when they're not eating. Be very careful out there. It's serious, and just be safe, keep others safe around you. And pray for Greg. Greg is, he's not on a ventilator, but he had had symptoms, I guess, for about a week, and then it was shortness of breath, fever, and so he went to the hospital, and it is full blown COVID, I guess you would say. Anyway, we wish you the best, Greg, if you ultimately get to watch this meeting, and we'll get the cards to you. Also, last week I passed around, we had on the tables, I guess we didn't get them out today, but there are lists of committees. We have about 30 committees. The list explains a little bit what a committee does. It says who's the chair and how to reach the chair. I implore you and everybody out there and, every member of the club, get involved, sign up for a committee, try something new. There is a sign up list. Jesse has it in the back. It'll be on your way out. Please sign up for a committee. If you've been on some committee, just attend somebody else's committee for once and try it out. We really encourage your involvement in the club. Join AV. I used to be chair of AV. I love this committee. It's a little bit complicated, but not that complicated. Rod Hughes and I we got our arms twisted, about 8 or 9 years ago, I guess it was. We were newbies. We didn't know much about what was going on. And I sure enjoyed working on the committee. And we do need help. So, consider the AV committee.
And this is the only committee where you can call President Dudley El Presidente.
No, everybody can call me El Presidente. So one other thing is, many of you probably got an email this morning from the Rotary Foundation. If I assume everybody who's contributed to the Rotary Foundation, which last year was, I think, 90% of the club. It caught my eye because it said they gave out 2,000 global grants last year. Well, I got thinking, okay, so there's 36,000 clubs and there were only 2,000 global grants, which means 34,000 clubs didn't do a global grant, okay? And now we know those 2,000 clubs, some clubs did more than one grant. This club, we had a World Community Service Committee meeting last Tuesday. This club does 10 global grants at a time. We do probably, I mean, that's the maximum any club is allowed to do. We maximize that. So, and global grants have to be at least a $30,000 grant. So that means Rotary has given out, and they didn't give the total, but some $60 to $80 million in global grants. So we do 10 of those a year at any time. So we're at least, so only 5% of clubs do global grants. So you should be really proud of this committee. They work hard, and these grants are not easy. I mean, they're very specific. You have to do a lot of homework to do them. They're not just simply fill out a form and send it in. You're scrutinized by both the district and Rotary International. So I think you should really be proud of this committee and join the committee. They need new people as well. Become part of that. And along with doing the global grants, this is a committee that travels internationally. Not everybody does, but you're always invited to go visit our projects, whether they be in Colombia or India and the like. So anyway, enough for World and they're named after our Carl Stuckey, who's Carl died. Carl was a longtime member, maybe one of the most humble, certainly more humble than Jack, most humble presidents we've ever had. Carl died, about 6 years ago, I think, 5 or 6 years ago. But Carl went on to be district governor. He was recognized by Rotary International, and I can't remember what the award was, but it was like one of the top awards. And Carl loved international service. He created fairs in Guatemala, I believe it is, that people go down to. He has projects in Central America. Carl, and our committee is called the Carl Stuckey World Community Service Committee in recognition of Carl. He was a giant, both in this club and in Rotary International, and the most humble guy you've ever met. Okay, Mary Jiang, are you out there? President-elect Mary, ooh. So Mary, I know that Sess left the meeting last week and went to Hawaii. So where did you leave the meeting and go to?
Okay, so I'm telling everybody today, we're gonna have cocktail with President Dudley tonight, and gonna be meeting at the Calavera Mexican Kitchen, hence the sombrero, and kitchen bar at 5:30. The address is 2337 Broadway at the Hive in Oakland. And Trustee Roostroff of the Roostroff Insurance Agency will buy your first round of margarita and even throw in some snacks. So bring a friend and come in. Ole!
Thank you, President-elect Mary Jiang. Okay, there's a basket somewhere with a bunch of raffle tickets in there. Steve, why don't you take that over to Karen? Oh, we'll let Karen, since she was the generous contributor of these bottles here. Pick out a number for us. Pick a number, any number. You have to be present to win. We probably need to turn the mic on. There you go.
Last three numbers are 592.
Somebody has to have 592. Nobody left the meeting.
All right. On to the next one.
Almost. Oh, come on. Okay.
Okay.
Nobody's claiming? Okay. One more.
591.
591. Okay, David Kirsten. And David gets free parking today if you drive. Okay, Robert Kidd, would you come up and tell us about next week's speaker?
Thank you, President Dudley. Next week, we welcome Dr. Monica Gandhi, from the University of California at San Francisco. If that name sounds familiar, it's because you've probably read one of her op-ed pieces in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, or the Washington Post, or maybe you've seen her interviewed on local television and national television. She's an expert in the area of COVID-19, among other things. Next week, she'll be in conversation with our own Peter Sherris about COVID and where we're going. To accommodate her medical schedule, we'll have the same schedule that we had today. We'll begin her presentation at 12:30 and she will end at 1, where we'll return to our normal calendar. If you have any questions, and this is important, get them to Dr. Sherris now. Just send Dr. Sherris an email saying, this is something I've wondered about. Would you get Dr. Gandhi's take on this? And he will incorporate your questions into his presentation with her. Next Thursday, Monica Gandhi, and bring a friend.
Thank you, Robert. In reading her bio too, she's a little bit like Dr. Fauci. She was one of the national experts on AIDS prior to the pandemic this year. Okay, folks. Were there any more bell ringers out there? I want to thank everybody who rang the bell today for their generous gift. Jenny, thanks so much for your thought for the day. Mark Rosen and President-elect Mary Jiang, thank you for pitching events coming up. Robert, thank you for introducing our speaker today. Robert Kenney, who's not here right now, but thank you for joining us. All of the greeters, the mic runners, folks with club service. Derek, thank you for passing the card around for Greg and Pauline. She was here a moment ago for handing out the tickets. Thank you, everybody. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Remember, we're Rotary, serve to help others, and don't keep Rotary a secret. This meeting is adjourned.